Hey everybody, my name is Jim Poole,
And I'm David Poole.
and we have a fascinating story to share. Today, are you feeling stressed, trouble sleeping, waking up exhausted, feeling overwhelmed, mind constantly going, listing, to-dos, forgetfulness, feeling like you can't get it all done, feeling like when you put your head on the pillow at night, first of all, I'm never going to slow down my mind, probably not going to fall asleep, but so disappointed I didn't get my to-do list done, so now I have to add things I didn't get done today to my to-do list for tomorrow. All that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Well, you're not alone, because most humans are experiencing the same thing all the time, every day. So what story do we have to share, David?
Story of being able to quiet your mind on demand and focus on the things that are important, valuable, and timely instead of really planning, worrying, and pacing for what's going to happen in the future.
So how would you like to feel like you've slept the best night you've had in years? Dreamt really cool dreams, didn't wake up to use the restroom, didn't wake up and activate your mind, woke up in the morning feeling, wow, that was like the best night's sleep of my life. How'd you like to feel like that every night? How would you like to feel like when stress comes at you? Conflict, trauma, issues with your partner, your kids. Instead of being overwhelmed, you can actually think like you're playing chess or something. You can actually make decisions without feeling sabotaged. How would you like to be able to focus, like laser focus? Like you're in such a state that someone trying to get your attention has to yell at you or clap their hands. And you're getting more done than you've ever done, and you're always used to get a lot done. You can double that. And how would you like to perform at your highest level of intensity, levels that you never thought you could even achieve, you didn't even know existed, but do it on a consistent basis? This is the promise that we're bringing to you. What do you think about that, David?
Yes, please. I'd like some of that and a lot more of it.
So where does this come from? Many of you are probably thinking it's coming from the future, and you could be right. We could be coming to you from the future. But where we're really coming from is your brain, and we're coming from your past. We're coming from the circuitry of your brain. We're coming from how the neurons fire in your brain. We're coming from the physiology of your brain and your chemistry of your brain. And it's all derived by frequency. Sounds like a lot. Well, it's actually quite simple. Do you have a headphone? Do you have a mobile app? Can you read? Can you press start on a mobile app? If the answer is yes to those four elements, guess what? We can take you to any of those outcomes we just discussed. Elevate your intensity and your mental acuity on demand. Elevate your ability to focus, great comprehension, clarity, concentration on demand. Ability to down-regulate. What does that mean? Just slow down your mind. Maybe meditate like a monk. And then lastly, sleep like a baby every hour of every night that you're sleeping. All of these things can be true with a mobile app and a headphone. So how does this work? We're bringing to you neuroscience. Now, some of us are intimidated by that word, maybe because it's 3 syllables, maybe because it's brain science. But what I've learned over the years is that you can learn the same about the brain as you can about the foot, or the same about a stamp collection. It's just learning. Is the brain complex? Sure, but it's not intimidating. So what do? How are we helping people achieve all these amazing achievements, but we're not really impacting you at all? Well, we do this through your ears. We have created, over a long time, a software with algorithms and mathematics and physics and a pitch and frequency matrix and binaural signal processing and isochronic waveform. It's a lot, and it's in a bed of software. Then we compose music on top of this software, and we use your ears to carry a signal to your brain. And your brain gets this precise signal and synchronizes to the signal. So, on this mobile app, if you select, hey, I want to rescue and I want to recover, I want to restore, you press start, we slow down your brain. I want to focus, we increase your brainwave frequency. I want to elevate and be high intensity, we increase your frequency twofold. I want to sleep, we slow down your frequency. You see, since the dawn of humankind, humans have either discovered or created ways to change their state of mind, how they feel in the present moment. And today, we use various external stimulation. For example, hey, it's a beautiful day. I got a lot of work to do, but mentally I just feel lethargic. Maybe I didn't get a good night's sleep. Maybe there's a lot on my mind. Maybe I'm feeling overwhelmed. Maybe I'm distracted. But I'm just lethargic. So what do? Well, in America, I go to Starbucks, I go to Dunkin' Donuts, I go to the store, I get 5-Hour Energy, Monster Energy, Red Bull. So any type of accelerant. Well, this isn't a miracle. This is simply increasing the frequency of your brainwave. And the higher frequency, your mind is more activated. If we're having a really tough day psychologically and we're worn out, we've been filled with anxiety and worry, we've had conflict with people that we love, we're beat. We may have a glass of wine. Well, that is not a miracle either. All it did was slow down our brainwave frequency, calm our nervous system down. If we want to deal with anxiety, we take an anti-anxiety pill. If we're tired of feeling depressed, we take an antidepressant. If we're having trouble sleeping, we take a sleeping pill. You see, think about this for a second. We humans, for all of our complexity and capability and amazement of our mind, are not very capable of changing our state without external stimulation, from exercise to all these medicaments and stimulations that we just discussed. Now, truth be told, these are all effective. I guarantee you, if you drink a Red Bull, your brain's going to work faster. I guarantee you, if you're in psychic pain, you have a glass of wine, you're going to feel relaxed. These all work. They solve an acute problem. The challenge is they all have negative consequences and long-term side effects that can be detrimental in the short term and poisonous and almost fatal in the long term. So what do? How can we change that? So there are two ways to trick the human brain and to change your frequency without the use of all the things we just discussed. And what are those two ways? One way is visual stimulation. It's called frequency following response, made famous by Sigmund Freud in a pocket watch. So you're following a frequency to elicit a response in your brainwave. It's great, but it's not very predictable across the human population. In fact, they state that probably 35% of the human population can avoid that trickery entirely. Probably, one would speculate, that their stress response, their fear response is so strong and their control matrix is so strong that they're not prone to visual stimulation. The second way to do this is through the ears and your auditory motor cortex. So you literally can present your brain with a signal, much like caffeine increases your brainwave frequency, alcohol decreases your brainwave frequency. You can actually do it by stimulating your brain through your auditory motor cortex, presenting your brain with a signal. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we do. What we do is we have brought the most advanced, patented, clinically proven neuroacoustic software presenting science and precise signals to the human brain that the brain interprets and synchronizes to. And just like a thermostat in the old days, where you'd turn to the left to make it cooler in your home, you'd turn to the right to make it warmer in your home, we can do that with a mobile app and 35 years of patented, clinically proven neuroscience. So Dave, what do you think? Does it sound too good to be true?
Well, Jim, no, it does not, because I've been using the product for 15 years. And one of the things that's interesting, you mentioned earlier about the complexity of neuroscience, and maybe it's intimidating, but think about how every one of us lives with a continuous flow of thoughts. It's all coming from your brain. And understanding how that works, how you can manage that, how you can start to manipulate things to get what you want, what you desire, focus on things you desire, I think is really valuable and really important. And to me, the neuroscience side of this business has been fabulously wealthy and very important and intimate for me. But the thing about NuCalm that I think is really remarkable is that with the accuracy of the physics and the algorithms you mentioned, there's also a finesse to it. It's not a robust experience. It's a very quiet, subtle phenomenon that gently and predictably and very reliably brings you to the place, like you mentioned, on demand. I can go from wanting to relax, wanting to fall asleep, wanting to decompress. I can go to feeling sluggish and a bit lazy and starting to manipulate myself to not go to the gym or not do something I committed to. And I can get into a mindset that's about activity and purpose and motivation. And without doing it, like you said, with ingestibles. So if it's caffeine or sugar or carbo loading, whatever those things are, which do work, and there are consequences. And then lastly, I would say, and probably the most important platform statement we can say about NuCalm is that it is all natural. You're not doing anything that your body doesn't already understand and can handle, tolerate, and use versus these side effects. I don't know how many times, especially during COVID and watching more TV than I really wanted to, I saw thousands of ads for conditions I'd never heard of. These are disease states that are unbeknownst to me. But at the end of the 30-second ad, there's 15 seconds of all the terrible consequences of taking this pill or taking this medicine. And I started thinking, are people listening to this? Why would you take something that could have fatal results? I love the one, don't take this if you're allergic to it. Well, how do I know if I'm allergic to it? Anyhow, the point is being all natural, being organic, being, like I said, it's almost like a brain ninja. The finesse side of this is really valuable. And the predictability and reliability, especially early on, and you know this, Jim, when we were doing a lot of surgical events and meeting a lot of doctors, we're very skeptical, really bright, understood their science, their platform, their capabilities, and also wanted to protect their patients. We had to convince them that this was going to be healthy and safer, and every time it was. And that was kind of the miracle of NuCalm very early for us, the aha moments, watching the doctors have the aha moments, having the patients having an exceptionally unique experience during surgery, and having the staff. I don't know how many times I got a community hug from, oh my God, we've been quote unquote torturing our patients for years, and now they love us and they can't wait to come back, and paying their bill is easy. So for me, the science, yes, is very interesting. My brain, I happen to have a big interest in learning more and more about it and understanding my limitations, my capabilities, the reliability, the safety. I was just showing our sound engineer yesterday that I have just under 3,000 rescue sessions since 2019. I'm really committed to this as a habit.
What's a rescue session?
A rescue session is NuCalm's version of relaxation and recovery. It takes about 3 to 4 minutes once you apply the headphones, start the app, find a comfortable place, and put an eye mask on. And the funny thing is, I had an experience years and years ago. My older son played the cello, and he had a really good ear. He was pretty talented with reading music. But one day I walked in his room, and he was playing a beautiful piece of music that I'd never heard. And I said, "What is that?" And he said, "Dad, it's NuCalm." I said, "What?" He said, "You listen to it every day." I said, "Funny thing, Silas. I listen to it, but I don't hear that. I hear the first 3 minutes, and then boom, I'm off in a deep exploration of my subconscious. Sometimes it's really animated and rich and fascinating. Sometimes it's weird. But for me, it's just a way to disconnect from the world and not focus on myself, just enjoy myself. Not be important, not be relevant to anybody else. Just sit there, bake, veg out, and escape my reality. Even though I like my life, I'm happy with what I do, I'm happy with who I do it with. It's nice to get a break. And it's just, for me, I get stressed if I find out I can't do NuCalm. And the reason I've been able to commit 3,000 sessions is I literally start my day factoring in when I'm going to use NuCalm. End of story. It's not a habit thing for me. It's a lifestyle thing for me. And I can't imagine where I'd be without NuCalm in my life, quite frankly.
So if we told you with just a mobile app and a headphone, we could change your state on demand. No drugs, no side effects, no negative consequence. We can do no harm to you, but we can elevate or slow down the frequency of your mind to any state you wish. Now, many of us don't understand frequency nor how the brain works, but it's simple physics and math. The brain, your brain, my brain, everybody's brain, oscillates in a frequency range of 41 hertz. And there are 5 categories. Many of you have heard of some of these categories. Specifically delta, which is associated with deep, dreamless-like sleep, or alpha, which is associated with creativity. But there are 5 categories. Beginning with the slowest frequency, delta is 0.5 hertz to 4 hertz, dreamless-like deep sleep. Theta is 4 hertz to 7 hertz, the healing zone. Alpha is 8 hertz to 12 hertz, kind of falling into sleep, creativity, relaxation. Beta is 13 hertz to 38 hertz. It's the broadest range of our everyday function. And gamma, high intensity, mistake-free focus, amplification of your senses and your ability to perform at peak levels, is 39 to 41 hertz. So when you drink coffee, you're simply increasing your brainwave function. When you are stressed, you're increasing your brainwave function. So what we do is, in a bed of software, we present your brain through your ears a signal that your brain interprets, synchronizes to, and then you follow the recipe of where you chose to go. So the app has currently 8 products on it in 2 categories: recovery and sleep, or focus and performance. Why 2 categories? Well, we have a slow frequency of recovery and sleep and a faster frequency in focus and performance. You select what you want. In sleep and recovery, we have 4 products. We have Rescue, our key therapy. This cycles your brain and hovers you just above deep sleep in the healing zone of theta. Why is it called the healing zone? It is the only time in your biorhythm where your cells clean their toxins and do your cellular maintenance, and the mitochondria, which is the energy source of your cells, is restored. This is the healing aspect and restorative necessity of why we sleep. We have Power Nap, which takes you to the same place of rescue, deep theta. However, it's an abbreviated 20-minute journey, and when you get out of it, you feel the benefit of having slept 2 hours of deep restorative sleep in just 20 minutes. So it is a true power nap. Then we have deep sleep, and as you can imagine, this is for sleep. With a speaker in your bedroom, that's it. No headphone, no eye mask, no nothing. Press play, and through a speaker, we put you to sleep. We pace your brain to 0.5 hertz. Then we have deepest sleep. Deepest sleep puts you to sleep, and then at hour 4, when we wake up to use the restroom and we get excited and our brain wakes up and we have difficulty falling back to sleep, we put you back to sleep. So those are the 4 products inside recovery and sleep. The 4 products inside focus and performance are focus. Focus is 18.4 hertz, the learning zone where your brain is not distracted. You have a high ability for concentration, clarity, and comprehension, and you perform well mentally. Then we have flow state. Flow state takes you to the intersection of alpha and theta, a frequency specific to 7.83 hertz, which is access to your subconscious, your state of flow, your creativity. We have ignite. Ignite, as you can imagine, amplifies. It elevates the frequency to 41 hertz, puts you in a peak state where your peripheral vision is improved, your olfactory is improved, your gross motor cortex is enhanced. You are prepared physically, emotionally, and mentally for anything that you are endeavoring to do, and you will have absolute certainty. And lastly, we have priming. The 4th product in focus and performance is priming, where we amplify your brainwave. We create this permeable state where you're learning. The words aren't just going from one ear to the next. You're actually learning and adopting new behaviors. The priming, we have 2 collaborators, Tony Robbins and Jim Quick, sharing their wisdom over years of evolving and helping people to understand how to get into the right state. Their words on top of our physics allows you to present yourself and your brain to a great place where you have command and control of how you want to think and how you want to live. Welcome to the wonderful world of NuCalm. So how would you like to have access to what used to be exclusively available only the Department of Defense, Navy SEALs, Special Forces, BORTAC or BORSTAR, the FBI Hostage Rescue Team, pilots, professional athletes, doctors, or cancer patients? That's the only groups we served. And it used to be a highly regulated, complicated, $6,000 FDA Class 3 medical device. How would you like to have access to that through a mobile app and a monthly subscription for as low as 50 cents a day? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are bringing the world's most powerful science to you in the palm of your hand to give you command and control of your thinking, how you want to think, how you want to act, how you want to live. You can put away the alcohol. You can put away the recreational drugs. You can tell the pharmaceutical companies, no thank you. You can take the sleeping pills and flush them down the toilet. We will help you regulate the frequency of your brain so that you can change your state of mind on demand, with ease, and without any drugs or side effects. That is the future, and the future is here. You're welcome.